Hey all. Yeah. What do you guys think? I feel like since the start of the season, this has been like the big thing that you guys have been wondering. When is Florian coming up? When is Florian coming up? Well, now we know. Florian Jacki is here. I don't know if this is a good thing. I think this could be a good thing. It's maybe like a little earlier than I would have liked to see him up, but let's be real. This team does not have another guy like that in the system. So I'm excited to see what he can do. Here we go. Steve says, to be quite honest, I'm not sure. I would think a little brotherly love he's going to help, but he's glad Evans is back. I too am very glad Evans is back. Evans obviously left the game late in the, or he didn't start the third. He came out after getting hit by Wilson and Tom Wilson in the second. Didn't come out for the third. They ended his night. And obviously, given his concussion history, given how high a hit it was, there was lots of worry. He didn't practice the next day, but honestly, in the end, he said it was all precautionary. He's fine. He's good to go. So they need him. They don't exactly have a ton of center depth right now. I think Arbor will be more energized with his brother there. A few more hits. Yeah, I'd like to. Yo, they're gonna sandwich somebody. That's what I want to see. I want to see them both come in and sandwich some guy. Mark, how you doing? I've always been an MSL supporter, but hearing him talk about his expectations for Florian has severely cheesed me off. I'm tired of his nonsense and his control of the tough guys. Let him loose. What did he say? I missed specifically what he said about Florian Jacki. I'm honestly starting to think that if we want a team that's tough and hard to play against, a coaching change might be necessary. Yeah, I mean, we've talked. I mean, he even Marty's talked about it. He's like sometimes. What was it, Marty? Who said like sometimes the guys who get you there aren't the guys who you end up winning with. Marty could be that guy. We don't know. So far I think he's done a good job as the coach. I think he's helped the team. But yeah, when this team goes to the next level or has to go to the next level, they're gonna make a lot of hard decisions. And yeah, I don't know if he'll be there. Honestly, very often the coach doesn't end up being there, right? Very often they opt for another coach. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Florian can do. There you go. It's Jack Eye time. Max, I knew you'd be happy. I think you've been calling for this team to be more physical. You've been saying this team's too soft since day one, right? I feel like you've been one of the real proponents of making the team more physical. This is the way to do it. This is what they've got internally that can help make it happen. Uh, if you want to know how he's been doing, though, like not amazing, I would say. He 4 points, 44 penalty minutes in 16 games for the Rocket. So he's not like he really was like lighting the lamp last year. He hasn't quite gotten to that point yet, but doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean he can't do it. If you want to remember what he was up to last year he did something pretty rare in the AHL. He had 24 goals, so he had more than 20 goals, and then he had 175 penalty minutes. It's pretty rare to get that combination in the AHL. So David, happy to have you. Hello from Ireland. Hello from Montreal, which is where the Habs are playing tonight. They are at the Bell Center. And yeah, local Habs go for good measure. Love it. Um, if you guys want to check out Hockey Inside Out, there's plenty going on. Let me link you guys to the live blog, though. Interesting. I don't think Marty St. Louis had anything to do with the Jack Eye call up. He seems reluctant to add grit. This has a Hughes Gordon written all over it. I hope he wreaks havoc in front of the Leafs net. Uh, yeah, it's not usually the coach that decides who gets called up anyway. But yeah, I don't think you're totally off base there. I do think that this is probably coming up from management being like, yo, this team needs a shake up. This is the first card that we have to play. That's the thing about coaches, right? You sort of have cards that you can play then that eventually lead up to replacing the coach if you need to do it. So calling up your big tough guy from the AHL feels like the first move. Second move is probably going to be calling up another goalie if the goaltending doesn't sort itself out, and then which I think will be Kakkonen ahead of Fowler. I've mentioned. Then after that, I think you fire the goalie coach. Eric Ramon's been around for a while. They may want some fresh blood in there if the goaltending can't get it done. So that's sort of my first three options. They're exercised option one. I think if they can't tonight get the goaltending squared away, I think we might see Kaapo Kakkonen next week. If he's healthy, I don't know what's going on. But I will say tonight, today the Laval Rocket had a huge game. They played really well. Adam Engstrom and David Reinbacher absolutely dominated today's game for the AHL, for the Laval Rocket. I think that's another card that's going to be played soon, especially with Gouli not coming back anytime soon. Adam Engstrom feels like the next big name to be called up. He is too good for the AHL. I don't know what he's got the potential of being in the NHL, but I think he's definitely going to get a chance real soon. And then I think the idea is to let Reinbacher, get healthy and play a little bit in the AHL. But again, if the team needs it, the team needs it. That's why I don't hate Marty, but I don't think he's the best coach for Arbor and now his brother. Yeah, that's an interesting thought. I mean, we talked about that last game. That would Arbor Jacki be better off on another team? Would another team give him like a little more rope to be physical, to make mistakes and feel like he can rebound from that? It's a good question. We got Bob from Mississauga tonight. Hello. I've been subscribed since this channel started. Oh, baby, that goes back. That goes way back. Many hosts ago. Many Hockey Inside Outs ago. Well, thank you so much for being here, and thanks for subscribing. We recently at the start of the season passed 15,000 subscribers. So if you're probably one of the first. 15,000 people have come, and you're still here. That's amazing. Mark's here from Toronto. Hello, hello. I'm sure you are going to hear it from your Toronto pals if the Leafs win tonight. So let's hope for your sake that's not what happens. Hello, hello, Rick. See you soon. We'll be here all night. Some people also mute me sometimes. I don't take it personally. If you want to do that in chat, you can do that too. But yeah, we'll see you in the intermission otherwise. Where would Marty St. Louis be without Andre Roy and Chris Dingman? That's a very good point. That's a very good point. You know, back then, teams like Tampa, man, they had their goon squad. Not sponsored by McDonald's tonight, but I was running errands today and I didn't have time to make dinner, so a little McD's. Meanwhile, so the Canadians are sliding in the division, but you know who's behind them? Toronto Maple Leafs. So right now the Canadians are, if you remember, before the slide they were first in the division. They're now sixth out of eight in the division. Now, before you go, oh my God, disaster, disaster. Um, Canadians are actually 4 points out of first and 3 points out of last. So there's only 7 points that currently separate all eight teams in the division. So it's not like a disaster just yet, but the Habs keep sliding, and they are tied for the worst goal differential in the division at -7 with the Buffalo Sabres. Um, the Canadians, weirdly enough, bad at home. They've played a lot at home. They're bad at home. They're 5-5-1 at home. They're 5-2-2 on the road. Meanwhile, the Leafs are 8-4-3 at home. They've also played a lot at home, and 1-5 on the road. So not great, not great. But the Canadians can leapfrog with a win tonight. I mean, they could be back in third in the division, really, if nothing happens with Florida, Ottawa, and Tampa. They could be a point behind the Bruins. So too early to panic about where they're at in the division. Um, but obviously, they started first, and now they're, not there. We need a win. I can't believe it's November and we're already in need a win mode, but you're not wrong. I mean, they've lost 7 of their last 8, lost their last 5. They need a win. Hello, hello, Jason. Mark says, I'm 90% done with Marty St. Louis after hearing his press conference talking about Florian. Arbor and Florian are both playing on the third and fourth lines. Marty has last matchup. I would say that has more to do with it. I don't listen to a used car salesman like Marty St. Louis. Damn, you guys are harsh on Marty. I know Marty's like a bit of a weird philosopher, but I don't know. It works when it works, and it doesn't work when it doesn't work. Bob agrees. This is a must-win game. Yeah, we are heading into that territory. What did they say? American Thanksgiving is when we know who's a contender and who's a pretender. So, I mean, if they're in a horrible losing skid by next weekend, doesn't that say it all? Nyland said yesterday that they should have gone after Wilson. If they got the extra penalty, so be it. At least it would have shown some team unity. And then Mark says, maybe Nyland should be our coach. I did not realize that Chris Nyland coached 2 years in the East Coast Hockey League for the Chesapeake Bay team. I can't remember their name. And did well. Had a lot of success there, actually. So, I will say that Arbor does talk to Nux. Nux's phone is there. If anybody on the Habs ever wants to talk about fighting, I tell you, Nux picks up the phone. He'll text them. A win is good for bragging rights for Habs fans in the TO market. Yeah, I mean that's the other added storyline tonight, right? Like we're on Hockey Night in Canada. Um, I'm sure they're talking Leafs, 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 Leafs all the time. I guess they're talking about the Olympics a lot too. But yeah, definitely going to be a Leafs heavy kind of night. That being said, there's a lot of controversy with the Leafs as well. They are not very good. So there's a lot to talk about for them too. I think Marty should have stayed with Dobesh. I understand trying to build Montembeault back up, but you had one of the hottest goalies in the league. Yeah, I mean this is going to follow him for a long time because now Dobesh is not playing well, right? So he's starting tonight, but he hasn't been very good since Yeah, they basically started Montembeau right as they started Montembeau 3 of 4. And it's been pretty tough ever since then. Marty's done a fairly good job. The recent 5 losses are not because of him. I mean, ultimately, he doesn't coach the goalies, right? And he handles the goalies, and that could have been, you can tag him with that, putting the wrong guy in. But yeah, it's complicated because it doesn't really feel like anybody's playing particularly well right now, and that does fall on the coach. Not only coach Canadians radio man JP O'Connor. Really? That's amazing. What did JP have to say about him? JP's great, by the way. I don't know him personally or anything, but like when I listen to him, incredibly smart. I would go as far to say probably the guy on 690 that I'm like most excited to hear from when I turn on the radio. He's probably the guy that I like if I hear him when he's on, like I'll listen to the segment. I don't know how you guys feel. That's right. Nyland on both the Sick and Montreal Inside Out did not blame the system and the leash put on grit. I'm not quite sure what you meant to say there, but hello. Many of my pals, my Leaf fans' pals, made the trip to Montreal tonight. They admit the atmosphere at the Bell Center puts the Scotiabank Arena to shame. For sure. Also helps that the tickets are a little bit cheaper, even with the travel costs. What would Nyland have done if he were on the ice against Big Wilson? Bite him in the knees. Yo, say what you want about Nux. Still wouldn't want to get into a fight with him. I don't know. Even if I was twice his size, which I'm not, but if I was even if I was twice his size, I'd be afraid of that guy. The real fans in Toronto can't afford tickets. I mean, I could argue that a lot of the real fans in Montreal can't afford Habs tickets anymore, but that's a league wide problem. That's an everything problem. Nobody can afford anything anymore, but we won't get into that. I still miss Momesso. Yeah, me too. I was very bittersweet. I was there on the last day that Momesso's the restaurant was open. So as you probably know, last year they announced they were closing, or 2 years ago now, and they said, "Oh, we're gonna open it. We're gonna close at the end of the month." And then I went a couple days later, and then literally an hour later, they ran out of food and never reopened. So I got one of the last sandwiches, and it was served to me by Sergio. Sergio did bring me the sandwich, so Sergio served me I got one of the last sandwiches at Momesso's. I'm not on the Marty St. Louis bandwagon these days. Nobody seems to be. Is everybody like off the MSL bandwagon these days? Or I feel like here especially people seem pretty down on him. I feel like everybody here was always like a little bit never fully on board. People like people were like, yeah, he's okay, but I don't feel like everybody here where everybody was so like, you know. Hopefully a better outcome tonight. Well, man, can't get any worse than the last few games. Oh, is the Jackeye family in attendance tonight? Are they going to be your favorite brother combo, by the way? You guys tell me what's your favorite brother combo to ever play in the NHL? Is it the Richards? They're pretty good. The Mahovliches? Mahovliches are a good one. What about I don't know, Marcel and Gilbert Dion? Maybe you really like Marcel. Maybe you really like Gilbert. Who else? Who else would be a good good brother combo. Wayne and Brent Gretzky. No, no. I'm trying to think of like. Damn, my original hope for Arbor was that he could be like Emelin. I must have read the room wrong. Well, I will say that Alexei Emelin, who by the way I loved, great player, came pretty late to the NHL from the KHL. So like, imagine if Arbor Jacki had played in Russia for. If he had like gone to Russia and played in Russia until he was like 25, 26, and then came over. Probably a different story. Maybe not. I mean, maybe not. But he's still young. Stefan and Patrick LeBeau, highest scoring brother combo. Wayne Brent Gretzky. Oh yeah, Stefan and Patrick LeBeau. That's a good one. Maurice and Henry, the classic. Yeah, you guys are both on the Rocket and the Pocket Rocket. What about Saku and Miku? That's a good one. Saku and Miku, I like. I wish Miko never played for the Habs. That would have been cool. He was kind of bouncing around. Well, he didn't bounce around in the end. I mean, we signed in Columbus, and then that was his career. But it would have been nice if Miko had bounced around a little bit, played season in Montreal. Yeah, we got to vote for Peter Frank Mahovlich. I'm not watching the. You can tell that I'm not watching the RDS feed tonight because my Sportsnet Plus feed very behind as always. Jeez Louise, a full minute behind. Terrible. Where are you guys watching tonight? Are you watching on the? Should I go on CBC? Should I give CBC a try? Once I'm on Sportsnet and I got the feed, I don't want to like mess around with it too much. Thanks. You guys are in the future. I'm the only one who's a minute behind. Oh yeah, we got the Jack guys on the ice right now. There you go, Troy Stetcher. Florian Jacki causes a turnover by hitting Stetcher, chasing the puck in the corner. And then Anderson lays a hit. It's a little infectious tonight. I like it. Yeah, exactly. There were no Capitals hit last game. It's already an improvement. Yeah, would be Hab Sammy Blay in the lineup tonight for Toronto. Do you think the Habs should have held on to him? They literally had a roster spot and available and just didn't keep him. Now he's on the Leafs. I don't know how you guys feel about that one. Ooh, nice pass. Demidov along the boards kind of flipped one over to like Suzuki, who was sort of getting into the circle there. All right, Dobesh looking sharp. Michael Pezzetta signed a 2-year contract to play in his hometown and has spent the entire year in the NHL. Yeah, and they called up Sammy Blais. Sammy Blais with the Leafs, the guy that the Habs signed to replace Pezzetta, ended up on the Leafs. Poor Pez can't catch a break, but ooh, the Leafs almost scored on the wraparound, but Dobesh just comes around. Who's that? Dakota Joshua? Yeah, Dakota Joshua with the wraparound attempt. That's a big dude. Another Vancouver Canucks cast off. I mean, Dobesh really coming out. I mean, Dobesh did not play that by the book. The Leafs are scared of Arbor. Well, Dakota Joshua and Arbor just shared a few shoves behind the net, so I'm sure I'm sure we'll see some fireworks tonight. I don't think you call up the both Jack guys and don't expect a little bit of the second Jack guy. You don't expect a little bit of fireworks. Well, the Habs are still looking for the first shot 5 minutes in. They have not really got the puck, other than that one shift where Jack Eye caused a turnover. They have not had the puck deep at all. There you go. There you go. Arbor Jack Eye with a nice hit. Dobish needs 3 consecutive starts. Then you'll see how good he is. Yeah, it's a good point. He's struggling right now, but is he struggling because he's not getting a chance to like get back into it? Arbor's feeling hitterish. Yeah, look at him on Sammy Blais. Welcome back to Montreal, bud. And then another hit on the way to the boards. I love it. This is the Arbor Jack Eye they need. Both brothers are ready to get physical. Yeah, maybe they will help each other. Keep each other in check. Or the opposite, I guess. I can't believe they're more focused on the brothers. This is how low we've come. I don't know who the they and who the we are at this in this one. You'll have to who there. Anyways, you can let me know. I think Arbor was concussed the last fight he had. He was flattened by a haymaker. He was definitely flattened that last fight. I don't know if he had a concussion. They usually do the concussion protocol, and they didn't in this case. But the guy definitely took a good one. I'll give you that much. Oh, I see what you mean. I mean, hey, physical players don't grow on trees. They could be, they can be big difference makers if they learn how to sort of, play a regular shift and then also be physical. Valeno with gets the first shot of the night, just kind of off the rush. Not a whole lot going on. Canes playing physical so far. They are. They are not shooting much or doing much offense, but so far at least physically they have 3 hits to Toronto's 5. According to the counters. Yeah, I'm trying to think of other brother combos. There's the Kachucks, obviously. The Kachucks are also, and then I think soon to be the Hudsons. I think Cole Hudson's probably also going to make the show. Looking pretty good for him. So there you go. The Hudsons, the Kachucks. I don't know if Nick Suzuki's brother Ryan ended up playing games for Carolina. I believe so. The Plager, Bob, was it Bob and Barkley? They're brothers. One shot in 8 minutes, unless you're 4 minutes in the future. There's 12 minutes left in the first. Slavkovsky gets a nice a little late hit from Lawton. The refs get in there right away. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. I was just joking around. But I mean, they still need to get more shots. I'll give you that much. And on that shift, it was very disappointing that they did not get one. It was Demidov with a nice point entry. Lane Hudson dancing on the top of the zone, got the puck down to Slavkovsky. Slavkovsky's shot deflected out, and then he took a little hit from Lawton at the end of the whistle, but the referees kind of got right in there. I wish I was too. I just have a regular Coke tonight. I don't have any. Maybe after the game. It is Saturday night after all. I usually have a Guinness on Saturday night. Oh, Gallagher missed the net coming off the rush. Oh, here we go. I thought that was a 2-on-1 in the second because of the way that the camera was. And then all of a sudden, um, Ekman Larson comes out of the corner, and I'm like, where the heck were you earlier? Where the hell were you standing? Well, good for the Leafs that he was there because he did make the defensive play. Oh, that's why Carrier hacks Ekman Larson in the back of the leg. Oh, and then he's in position, and he's fine. Tried to milk that one for a penalty a little bit, but that being said, Carrier's definitely got to watch out. Can't quite hack people like that, but I thought last game was crazy against Washington. There was 9 penalties in the first period, and then nothing in the second, and then nothing in the third until like the last minute, which was really weird. Tavares on top of Matheson behind the net. Nice to see Bolduc a little more physically implicated. I feel like he's got a physical edge that we haven't seen too much of yet, but especially playing on the top line, he's like should be a little more open up for that. Ekman Larson has always been a diver, fits the Leafs well. Ouch. Max will never be like Domi. Hated Domi because he played for the Leafs, but man, he was one of the toughest. Yeah, Max Domi is well, we saw the best that Max Domi will ever be. He had a 70 plus point season, his only one for the Habs. If you guys obviously remember, well, when he and like Tatar found a bunch of magic together, and then he went back to his old ways the next year, and then he was gone. Oh, here we go. We got Easton Cowan, and we got Lane Hudson and McMahon. We have Florian Xhekaj and Easton Cowan. It was Lawrence coming in. Struble kind of shoved him. Anderson gave a little hack, but like I don't really know why this started. And then, well, there you go. I think Florian just didn't want that. Didn't want anyone in Dobesh's crease. So we got Struble in the box, and then there's a matching penalty for the Leafs. Leafs power play after all that. don't know about that one. Yeah, we got a Leafs power play after all that. Not really sure why, but can't stand Struble. Yeah, it's funny watching Engstrom and Reinbacher highlights tonight in Laval. I'm like, Struble and Jackeye need to watch out. They definitely could lose their lineup spots before too long. Here you go. Here are the Jesus. The formatting is not preferable there, but those are the lines tonight. Reinbacher really needs to stay healthy and develop. This team desperately needs a guy like him. They really do. And that's why they drafted him probably a little higher than he deserved to be, just because right-handed defensemen like that hard to find. I know we give you a hard time about the status of the blog and comments, but there is something wrong when I read a Stu Count article in the Toronto Sun and leave comments. Nobody's reading that comment. I didn't even know you could read Stu Count stuff on the Toronto Sun. Why the hell is it on there? Get that shit. Get that off that site. Get that off that site. I don't want to read Stu Cowan on the Toronto Sun. That's evil. Oof. Man, the Leafs just allowed to walk in there. Backhand nearly beat Dobish. Man, Dobish is sliding. I mean, Dobish and Montembeault have a big problem with just sliding around. They overslide way too much. Dobish at least is young and athletic and can kind of get back when he does it. But John Tavares just allowed to walk in. Nobody touched him. And it hit Cowan, I think, and almost bounced in, but they were able to keep it out. But yeah, you can't let that happen. Got lucky there. Definitely got lucky there. That easily could have been a goal. Hate to think that Post Media out in Toronto is strangling the Montreal Gazette. It does look like that. It's very complicated, but I will just say that I've worked at other places where it was much worse, if you can believe that. It's a pretty common thing where just like the parent company just makes decisions, and the little guys are all just like, we just gotta kind of live with it. I guess is the best way that I would put it. I don't think they don't mean ill, but you know, what a goal! We're back at 5-on-5, and the Canadians lead 1-0. So we just got back to 5-on-5. Caulfield with the zone in, or sorry, Gallagher No, it was Caulfield. Caulfield, the zone entry. Gallagher to the net. Ooh, is it goalie interference by any chance? Kind of looked like the Toronto guy pushed Gallagher in there. Nope. Doesn't look like. No challenge. It's 1-0. And it's the usual suspects, Suzuki and Caulfield with the assists. So it also means that Lane Hudson is halfway to his rookie goal total. He had 6 all of last season. Already has 3 this year. I know there's a lot of talk that he was working on his shot in the offseason. I don't know if he worked on it that much, but it looked good there. I'll tell you that much. So yeah, more Hudson pinching, please. Because he can get back too. If he does. There you go. 2-0. What a play by Dobson. Dobson circled around the net, came back in. Tavares looks mad. That shot looked like it pinballed. Lots of traffic in front, which is what we were saying we needed last time. Slavkovsky is there. Did Slavkovsky maybe touch it? Slavkovsky jumped in the air. So even if he didn't touch it, he was still involved. No, Matheson and Demidov gets an assist. That's nice. Yeah, that was an awesome play by Dobson, circling the net. This team, honestly, if the defense is activated and moving, this team just looks so much better. That's the issue with playing against the heavier teams, though. The heavier teams kept these guys stuck in their zone, and they couldn't get out. But if these guys have time to go into the offensive zone, they can do damage. I do know what you mean. Usually my feed's a lot better. Usually I'm on my RDS feed is like primo, but my Sportsnet Plus feed's not that great. Yes, congrats to the Carabin. Florian wears 63, Dobson 53. That's why I was unsure. That being said, Florian can't move like that. Pretty good though. Good player, but Yeah, we got to get like everybody moving. No doubt about it. Here's where the Habs should have learned a lesson from the past several games. Here's where we judge how MSL pumps up a team up to nothing, show no mercy, score 6 more goals, make the other team suffer. I'm in the UK and I'm ahead of you. All right, guys. I think in the intermission, I'm gonna try to figure out my CBC Gem password. Tired of being behind. Tired of being a minute behind. I have options. What about my TVL? My TVL Sports doesn't work. I don't know why. It works like on my TV, but oh, Canadians are on the power play. Remember the days when radio and hockey broadcasts were in sync? I know. Much better than all this technology and all this money, and I'm just 30 seconds behind. It's not fair. Maybe I should just put the radio on. I mean, the Canadians are certainly passing the puck a lot in this power play, but they're not. Ah, and Bolduc in the bumper with the no look pass to the point. That's why you got to shoot sometime because you're just one bad pass away from giving it up. Yeah, I thought Suzuki, especially on that power play, was a little tentative in the shooting department. Craig Simpson's saying, "Oh, what a great no look pass." I don't know. I kind of wish he had just shot, to be honest. Feels like we're dominating the period. Yeah, it took a minute for the Canadians to get shooting. They didn't shoot for the first 5 minutes of the period, but they had one shot after 8 minutes. But they're starting to pick it up. Who's been the nicest surprise so far this season? I say Kapanen. Yeah, I agree. I kept thinking that, oh, he got goals in the first 4 games. He's going to fall off. These 4 goals, he's going to fall off. And he hasn't fallen off yet. And he seems to be hanging, you know. he could easily just be carried by Demidov right now, but I feel like he's holding his own on that line. I would say Dobson's defense has been a bigger surprise. The guy's got a great at stick work. Um, Sometimes his positioning's a little funky, but he's pretty solid. He's pretty solid. I mean, he's an incredibly dynamic defenseman. He's a really special player. My vote was Newhook as the biggest surprise. Yeah, that's true. I mean, he looked fantastic early on. He really looked like he was finally becoming sort of like the middle six forward that they needed. Make them suffer. I like it. Yeah, Doc was also a pleasant surprise. He was starting to hold his own, and that was also not to be. First fight I ever saw was Berube against Corson. Who won that fight? Did they ever become teammates? Did Berube play for the Blues? I don't remember. Or did he just coach them? Oh, we got a shot almost redirected in. There's no broadcasters, just the visual. What do you mean? There's like you can't hear anybody? You're just watching the game in silence? I kind of like that. Long shift for the Leafs in their own zone, but doesn't look like anything's going to come of it. Oh, well, they might turn it over. Yeah, they did indeed turn it over. More zone time for the Habs. I know it's early in the season, but with the Habs' hybrid defense system, do you think it'll be a problem potentially fitting somebody at the deadline? I think they'll need to be careful about who they acquire for defense, but they made a pretty good call in Carrier last year, so I'm not too worried. And I feel like Dobson would fit just about anywhere. So that's a tricky one, but they definitely, I think, will look for some depth on defense. What they need right now is somebody physical. That's really what they're missing with Gooley out. Oh, Demidov. Perfect feed from Slavkovsky with the at the buzzer, and he ripped it wide. Ooh, Demidov did miss. not miss by much on that last second shot. All right. Well, hey, considering what we've seen so far, that was a good period for the Habs, I would say. Yeah, I would say that it started a little slow. Well, but the thing is, early on they were like implicated physically, so even if they weren't getting shots, it still seemed all right. But yeah, that was definitely they dominated more and more as we got around. Thought Jobish was solid. Yeah, he looked all right. I mean, he was nice on that wraparound, and he looked alive on that Tavares play. But I still thought laterally he was just all over the place. Didn't seem like he was covering his angles well, so gotta watch out about that. I'd say it's the best period from a goalie in the last 2 weeks. Last game we outshot Caps 12-6 in the first. That's true. They were good in the first period before it all unraveled. That's fair. Yeah, it makes a hell of a difference when your goalie actually stops puck. Yeah, imagine because what the Leafs were leading what like 5-1 in shots, 6-1 in shots at some point. If it was Montebo and he'd given up two, we'd be having a very different conversation right now. Arbor had 550 in the first period. MSL must be scared because Ma Jackeye is at the game. Yeah, I would not want to scare her either. But no, so far so good for the Jackeyes. How did they each had at least a hit. Did they have more than that? Florian had one hit, one block in 249 of ice time, whereas Jackeye had two hits. No, one hit and two blocks. No, two hits, two blocks, one giveaway. What's over on natural stat trick right now? Right now, the Leafs had three scoring chances, two high danger chances. The Habs had four scoring chances, zero high danger chances. Really, I would consider the was that Demidov play at the last second not a high danger chance? Felt pretty high danger to me, but whatever. Whatever. I don't make those determinations. Florian was on the PK for 26 seconds. Love that too. I want Florian to be more than a goon, so PK time is good to me. Yeah, I think it would be a huge disappointment if Florian Jacquet ended up just being a goon. From what we saw in the AHL last year, which keep in mind was his first season in the pros, scored 24 goals. Definitely looks like a guy who can stand in front of the net and score bat home rebounds. So I think if that offensive part of his game never develops, that would be a pretty big disappointment for the Habs. It's similar to Arbor, to be honest. Like Arbor can be more than a goon. Anyone see the alleged double takedown of Trent Frederick by AJ Greer? I did not see it. Was that in tonight's game or is that yesterday's game? I haven't seen that. Yeah, I didn't see the Trent Frederick one. I did see I guess it was last week now, Patrick Waugh going off on Mikko Rantanen. That's an older one. I also did see that KHL play with the guard dog biting the biting the player's glove. I saw that as well. Bedard and Celebrini don't make Team Canada because they want a veteran team, which is typically how they've done things, right? I feel like Team Canada, I think, is usually very conservative, uh, and definitely like to reward guys who've already played before. So it would shock me if they do it differently. I think the only way they would do it differently is if guys got hurt. I mean, like even like even Suzuki's like in the back of the line and he's playing great. Has another point tonight. Although that being said, if he's injured, I don't think the Habs would want him to go. Chris Pronger on the intermission. Time for Ron to retire. Make these interview intermissions more appealing. Did you guys see, by the way, I meant to write about it because I wanted to get your take. Um, Wayne Gretzky on the what is it, the TNT broadcast talking about the Maurice Richard riots, but his very like abrupt Wikipedia version of events. I wanted to know anybody's take on that if they watched it or if they cared. If they cared about how he sort of talked about the Richard riots, it was kind of interesting. I mean, he's explaining it to a American audience, right? Both Hagel and Cirelli aren't better than Suzuki. No, but John Cooper's there. The Canada Brass likes people who've been there and have won before. So those guys are going to be there until they like Can't play anymore, basically. Is it fair? It's not fair, but it's how they do it. And they like having like teammates on. I don't know why. They were always obsessed with that. There was a like Crosby and his line mate. Didn't like they put like Chris Kunitz back in the day? They put Chris Kunitz and then you know? Yeah, they definitely try to not like it's not just like a pure who's the best. There's definitely lots of politics with Team Canada. I try not to get too upset about it. Then again, I'm gonna watch. The whole intermission crew needs replacing. Yeah, it's kind of interesting because I think everybody always talks about Chris Pronger about how interesting it is, but I'll also say this: like BX is super interesting, and like sometimes you'll hear these guys on podcasts and they'll be so interesting, and then like you see them on this broadcast, and it's like I don't know, it's not the it doesn't have the same. Is it just because we're so like done with the whole like Ron CBC format? Is there something like in the blood of this show, like in the DNA of this show? I feel the same way about. Do you guys ever listen to Q? I like Tom Power a lot. I like Chad a lot. But there was just something about like Q where I'm just like, you're still the show, you know? You're still like you still as you're saying right here, Rick, the stink of Don Cherry and the Leafs. Yeah, there's just like some like a stink on it. I feel the same way about Q. Even though I like Tom Power and I still watch a lot of the interviews, but yeah, I still have that same. I'm like the format's still the same. Like yeah, it's a different host, but you're still doing the same show. Maybe we need another. Maybe we just need another show altogether. I don't know. Need PK Subban on it. He will bring personality. See, that's the thing, right? He's super interesting, PK. But like, some people love him, some people hate him. Some people on this very live blog, some commenters don't like PK. Some love him. Um, and so like when it's like a US broadcast, they're like, "Oh great, somebody divisive. Somebody who's going to say what they think and then people are going to have hard opinions either way. This is interesting." But like the CBC broadcast, that's not what they're thinking. The CBC broadcast is looking for somebody more, I don't know, all pleasing. They're like afraid to kind of offend a little bit. I think, which makes a little bit of sense because I think Don Cherry took things the other way and was too offensive and too old and too only cared about the Leafs and couldn't pronounce anybody's names and was pretty racist and was an oldie. But now they're like a bit too much on the other end, and they're just like not that interesting. PK would be like Charles Barkley. I mean, isn't that's the gold standard, right? That I guess they're done now, right? The TNT broadcast. That was like that's the gold standard of intermission chatter. The Prime Monday night broadcasts have been much more enjoyable to watch. I got rid of Amazon Prime um, last year because I realized I don't buy anything on Amazon. I don't watch anything. But I forgot about the games, I will admit. And I do kind of miss them a little bit. Because I watch them on RDS instead. So I haven't watched the broadcast, but they do a nice broadcast. Major League Baseball, I think, is going to move some of their games to Netflix next season. I'm super interested in seeing those. I mean, I also don't have Netflix, but I guess I could have some type of streaming at some point. That's the problem. The demographics appeal to Toronto only. The production and the writers are Toronto born and bred. Yeah, I mean, this is like a media. This is goes even beyond hockey. This is such a Canadian media problem because Canadian media in English is completely concentrated in Toronto. And I know a lot of the guys who work in media in Toronto. They're lovely people, but yeah, they're born and raised in Toronto. Just how it is. They shifted to ESPN. No baseball. Yes, they did. But it was a trio package. Like it was ESPN got some, but then they're also going to have some on streaming. Anybody listen to Jose Theodore being interviewed, he would be good too. Jose Theodore is such a like cool dude. He's such a fascinating. Teammates tell stories about Jose Theodore, just like riding around his motorcycle, dating models, living the life. Like he's a rock. Like Jose Theodore's a legit rock star. Uh, he's great in French. I don't know how good he'd be in English. I guess he'd be all right. Anyways, they should. A national broadcast should have somebody with a strong Quebecois accent speaking in English anyway. I feel like there's nothing more Canadian than that. But yeah, I don't know who else do I like who gives her I don't know. Maxime Lapierre's good. I've He was on the TVA broadcast earlier. Maxime Lapierre. I mean, I don't think he could do it in English, but Maxime Lapierre is good. He's definitely got a good. I like the podcast when it was him and Guillaume Latendresse. Now it's Pascal Leclerc, but Jose is what Alexandre Daigle wanted to be. Yeah, that's pretty. That's pretty fair, I think. I mean, I think lots of people. Jose's fluent. That's true. He's not even the like his dad is Latino. No, he can speak Spanish too. I think. Love listening to him talk to about contract negotiations with Bob Gainey. Oh, where is that? I want to listen to that too. I'm gonna go look for that after the game. That does sound like a lot of fun. Hey Bob, you'll like this. I wrote to Patrick Roy before the '86 final. I was 11. I got a card back in the summer signed "Best Wishes." That's amazing. Do they still do that? I guess there's no more letters, unfortunately. You just hit them up on post me. You just hit them up on Instagram now, and you get like a heart, and you're like, okay, good. You get like prayer hands or something. That's all you get. I mean, there was a big story last week in the Athletic about all these players getting DMs all the time on their Instagram from chronic gamblers who were mad that they did this and that. So I guess I don't blame these guys for not being so forthcoming these days. Watch Rocket Richard last season. The birth of Belleville, the dominance of Dryden doesn't get much better. No, it doesn't. My dad took me on Saturday morning to the forum to get autographs. Ooh, like before practice, or I guess they were practicing on game day, or that's pretty cool. I used to, by the way, our second period is back on. I used to do like the lineups. Remember when like the players used to go sign autographs at like the Tim Hortons or something, and you bring your hockey cards and you line up for like 4 hours. Oh, Bolduc to Caulfield there for a nice chance, just 20 seconds into the period. I think the feed is like kind of caught up with itself. I hope so. Maxime Lapierre is Montembeau's biggest fan. Yes, he is a defender of the goaltending, is he? Or is he not? I don't know. There's a segment that I gotta check out. Yeah, I think you're right. I think now it's just time to play the hot-handed Nets. By the way, we didn't talk about it. Chris Pronger was actually bad-mouthing Lane Hudson in the intermission. Said that he doesn't read the play. Said that he's out there with no, what do you say? No sense of direction. He was kind of speaking more like a blanket statement about offensive defensemen, but get lost, Pronger. What a what a chump. I could not think of a more incorrect assessment of Lane Hudson. Oh, Dakota Mermis left in the first period. He took a puck to the throat, but he's back in. We were up last year 3-0 on the Leafs, and they came back to annihilate us. I hope the boys haven't forgot that. I hope that as well, but I will say, uh, that was a team with what Matthews and Marner. This team does tonight's team doesn't quite look like that team, but hey, hey man, whatever Pronger says, you listen. Hey, Pronger's a very smart guy and was obviously, he's obviously a Hall of Fame defenseman. But that observation is just weird. I don't really know what he's getting at about Lane Hudson or offensive defensemen really in general. Pronger played in a different game. Yeah, that's kind of the feel that I had too when like defensemen used to be much more of a binary before, right? You were like an offensive defenseman or you're a defensive defenseman. And the defensive defenseman like couldn't stand the offensive defenseman because they were just like you're just extra work for me. And I don't feel like that's really the case anymore. Every defenseman in your lineup has to be able to bring the puck up the ice. Like David Savard might be the last David Savard we ever have on the Habs until the game like changes drastically again. Because defensemen like David Savard just don't really exist anymore. And is that the kind of guy he's talking about? But it's not like Pronger. Pronger was a great offensive defenseman. I know what he's on about. Felix, one of those like do as I say, not as I do. John Holmes isn't playing. Is that what we're calling Austin Matthews? Is that a mustache reference? Wait, who's John Holmes? I'm not saying that Pronger has no right to criticize. I'm just saying that I think he's wrong. Is really where I'm at on that one. He's well within his rights to make that claim. I just feel like he's severely reducing Hudson's game and like kind of not really giving Hudson the credit that he probably deserves for I think having a bit more of a rounded game than Pronger is suggesting, but he's well within his room. Here, Pronger did say Hudson will get exhausted at this pace during the season. Hudson will fool him, but it's a difficult season for all teams. I mean, it didn't really happen last year. Oh, what a nice one-timer by Suzuki. Wool's keeping Habs are now leading in shots 13-11. Wool's definitely keeping them in there. He's having a good night, I would say. I know he allowed 2 goals, but I think he's made some pretty big saves so far. The other goalie, Stolars, is out right now. He's one of the many Leafs regulars who are not currently playing. Pronger would dominate today. Pronger would dominate at any time. Pronger is one of the best ever play defense and just like a really special combination of big and talented and mean and no, I'm not. I just think he's wrong. I don't think he's anything less than an incredible player and a smart dude. But I agree to disagree with him on this one. Hudson's getting a 4-week break in February. That's true. He's not going to make the Olympic team. Watch Dobis in closing the net off the sides. There isn't any space. Then he's back to normal. What a tic-tac-toe. Two-goal night for Noah Dobson. He's the trailer on this very, very slick tic-tac-toe play. And we have 3 goals tonight, all from defensemen. What a play. Demidov with the primary assist on that one. Ooh, who's mad there? Alex Steves with the stick smash-o. That's a big goal for the Habs. And now in the next shift, we have Dakota Joshua and Jack-Eye talking it out. Are they going to fight? Nope. Well, hopefully not, because the Habs are bringing it up the ice. Keep your gloves on, buddy. By the way, how about Slavkovsky and Demidov together? I think they're playing pretty well. I like the combination. It definitely puts a little less pressure on their needing to be a big second center. Like Kapanen can hang with those guys. Come on, Arbor. Don't be a wimp. Oh, if he gets like an instigator, though, Marty will never forgive him. Every reason for Arbor to fight, win the fight, and destroy more of their confidence. That's like the risk you take, right? Like you could really like dig the knife in, but you don't necessarily want to. I don't know. That's a tough one. Florian Jack-Eye with a shot on goal. No Marner, no Matthews, no Nyes. They should be able to hold a lead and lay a good beating on the Leafs. Yeah, look at Kapanen keeping the puck in the zone, knocking down Robertson. You know, Kapanen, we don't talk about Kapanen as a physical player, and he's not necessarily a physical player, but he is. He's got good size to him. Habs are up 20-11 in hits right now. I'd like to see that. Easton Cowan blocked a shot, and he's slow to get up. Penalty coming up to the Leafs, and Matheson is just circling, circling, circling. Extra attacker. Nylander got his stick on it a little bit. Ooh, Cowan's as if the Leafs could afford to lose another guy. But Cowan's still reeling from blocking that shot. Well, here's a really good chance to not I wouldn't say end the game, but definitely give themselves a huge lead. So we got 2 assists for Demidov tonight, by the way. So the usual suspects on offense. Get Florian in front of the net. Get Slav in front of the net. Get them both in front of the net. Why not? You're up 3-0. Why not give it a try? It'll forever be known as the Jack Eye effect. Hey, they were losing. Now they're winning. If a 4-0 lead doesn't end the game, then just tank the season. Don't even. Don't even right now. The confidence of this fan base is just too brittle. I'd rather tank. I think it's my. I don't know. I think it's too late to tank. I don't know. I might be wrong. I feel like the Nashvilles of this world have got a big head start here. The Nashville Predators and the Calgary Flames are the Stanley Cup of tanking. Power play, shoot the puck. That is number one. Well, they did what they finally wanted to do, which was to get the puck to Bolduc, the bumper, and he got a great shot on Wool. I mean, they got what they wanted. Ooh, Slavkovsky. Slavkovsky missed that one by a lot. And he rang it around the end boards and then oof. What a move by Slavkovsky though. To get the puck back in the zone, he split the D. Nice one-timer by Caulfield, but that's up and out. Have to admit, Slav is playing a better game tonight. Yeah, he's starting to be up and down again, but he's looking great tonight. And again, thought he was great against what was it, Columbus? I thought he was great against Columbus, and then uh, yeah, nothing burger against the Caps. I'm guessing Sure is the last Habs defenseman to net a hat trick. That's a good question. Did PK never get one? What a move by Demidov. And he draws a penalty. Wow. That was an amazing. He deep by what? Two guys there? Oh, back door to Demidov to Suzuki, and he couldn't jam it home. I mean, Wool is absolutely just saving Toronto's bacon right now. Toronto looks completely lost as there's a delayed, another delayed penalty. Habs are glued to the Toronto zone right now. They're taking their sweet time. Why not? You're basically getting a second power play here. Wow, what a pass Slavkovsky to Caulfield. I don't know how Wool stopped that. Now Wool's helmet is off, and that is the only reason why they got a whistle. What a one-touch pass by Slavkovsky, by the way. I mean, that was a smart play by Wool to get the helmet off. No, the helmet came off. But he's livid. I mean, I harp on Slav more than anyone, but what a game he's playing tonight. Amazing. I know in that little sequence there, splitting the D and awesome play, and then that one touch pass to Caulfield for the one timer that he absolutely could have scored on. Well, the Canadians call a timeout because obviously they just spent about 2 minutes in the offensive zone. Their guys could use a little break, their top unit, and we could really use a goal this PP. Yeah, I mean the PP's still quiet, right? And yeah, the Habs now up 20-12 in shots. They are absolutely dominant this period. This period specifically, they are leading 11-1 in shots. 11-1 in shots in the second period. Amazing. Demidov with his great speed. Yeah, I mean, that was not many guys can do what he just did. When Slav plays with Suzuki and Cole, he plays the boards and does the dirty work. With Kapanen and Demidov and Slav carry the play. I agree. I feel like we are seeing like a little more of a dynamic Slavkovsky playing with Demidov. And how could you not? Demidov is just such a exciting creative player, whereas I feel like Cole and Suzuki are the guys that have all the chemistry, and then you're just kind of the guy. You're the third man. You're the third man helping out on that shift. Whereas with Demidov needs somebody to bounce off of. And so he gets to do a little bit more. That is a good comment. I agree. I have to copy paste it here for about last night. Often we use the end of the night comments because they're a little more relevant. But that's a good one. That one makes the grade tonight. I love it. I feel like the Canadians could finally have two lines. I just now want to see Bolduc show a little bit more chemistry with the top two guys. Habs keep it in the zone, but not for long. We're down a minute in this power play. We need a Shane Doan type. Yeah, I agree. They need to. Can Bolduc be that kind of guy? I don't know what Bolduc can be yet. Got a little more goal scoring prowess and a little more physicality in his game that he hasn't quite tapped into yet. Dobson had a pretty open. How about it? Did Slav get it in? Slav had a perfect opportunity on the rebound. He just had Wool's pad to beat. Slav on the doorstep, man. I don't know how Wool kept that out. What a great play. Another great tic-tac-toe play to Kapanen, who was the bumper on this one. And he did kind of a quick snapshot. Yeah, the rebound gets away. Oh, man. Slav. Bolduc has been a disappointment after that hot start. I agree. I feel like he got pushed down the lineup a little bit, got taken off the top power play unit, and then the goals dried up almost instantly. So I'm hoping on the top line now, once he gets a little more legs with Cole and Nick, he's going to be able to provide a little more offense. Hopefully. I believe Bolduc was told to work on his defense after the hot start, which he needed to do. Yeah, that's also a pretty fair assessment. Well, we're back to 5-on-5. Shots are now 23-12 for the Habs. They're leading 3-0. And that's two straight turnovers in the neutral zone by the Leafs trying to get it out of the zone. I mean, the Leafs are completely out of sorts right now. Hey, Josh Anderson with a seeing-eye shot. Where did that come from? Yep, Florian Jackeye First point in his first National Hockey League game. And of course, the CBC broadcast goes right to the mom. Ooh, right off the shoulder and in. This is making my heart sing. Wild Thing. Is that what we're calling Florian Xhekaj? Is he Wild Thing? He's got a bit of Wild Thing. Anderson, Hands of Cement. And then you're not wrong, but every so often, oof. And they're pulling Joseph Woll, who I don't think this is Craig Simpson's right. This is a mercy pull. This is not, I don't think this is at all a criticism of Joseph Woll. This is the Leafs being absolute dog poop. They are, I mean, everybody's hurt, but they're awful. This is an awful team. But yeah, everybody's hurt. I'll give them that much. Leafs need to fire Berube. Didn't he just get there? He's still pretty new coach. Stop the singing. No, they're up 4-0 against the Leafs. The only time they can ever sing. I'll allow it. Although I know you get like when do they sing? When should they sing Ole Ole? I always ask you guys this. Should it just be in like the last minute of like an 8-0 game when there's no chance that the other team can be motivated by it? Watch out for a dumb play from Max Domi. Is Max Domi even playing tonight? I feel like I have not seen him at all. That's how. Hold on, let me check. Let me check. Yeah, Max Domi is playing tonight. Haven't seen him at all. McDonald's for dinner. Yes, I did have McDonald's for dinner. I ran a little late with errands tonight, and then I had to walk the dog. And I had been meaning all week to try the. It's not free advertising for McDonald's, but they have a new triple pickle burger in Canada. So it's chicken burger with pickle sauce, regular pickles, and fried pickles, which are actually just pickled chips. It was pretty good, actually. Pizza Pizza. That's another Canadian staple. Um, I can't say that I'm the biggest Pizza fan, but I will say that when you are drunk and you're walking around and you see that flashing orange sign, it does hit pretty good. The Leafs can't win without any coach. They are in, man. You think Habs fans are not feeling amazing about their team right now? I can only imagine the Leafs fans. What happened to na 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 at the end of the game? Yeah, we don't do the Ray Charles anymore, right? That's true. Is that Ray Charles? Na 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 na. Hey, goodbye. I know he did hit the road jack. Did he do na 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 as well? I don't know. Well, whoever did it, you're right. That one's got some songs they just don't do anymore. I'm serious. The call up changed the mindset of the team tonight. Now let's keep it going. I like it. Game is far from over. Don't sit on your asses. Remember what the Caps did. Score goals. Karate Kid motto. No mercy. I like it. Best ex McDonald's menu item, their pizza. I loved their pizza as a kid. Supposedly it was a nightmare for it to make it though. Like it took forever. And if you know anything about working at McDonald's, if you can't make it in 30 seconds, it's not worth. It's just kind of eating into your valuable profits. So unfortunately, pizza did not survive at McDonald's. His name has not been called. I haven't seen Domi, but I totally agree with you that in the third period, Max Domi. I don't know if you guys are on the poly market micro bets, but if you could take a micro bet on Max Domi doing something really stupid in the third period, I would take that bet if I were you. I miss a proper sub. Do they not have subs in the UK? Is that not a thing there? Do you guys ever eat? And this is real Montreal. Do you ever go to Dagwoods? I when I went to John Abbott College, they had a Dagwoods in the John Abbott College, and I would the Dagwood special sauce, which is just like kind of like a pickle, like a pickly, oily sauce. So good. As an ex chef, I have a hard time eating out. I hear you. I actually love to cook. This job, I will admit, makes it a little harder to cook than it used to. They used to. What's the time on the ice for Domi? Domi's at 7:44 this game, which puts him on par with like the Bobby McMahon, Stephen Lawrence's of this world. 7:44, and we are almost done the second period, so not a lot. Mike subs, yeah, Mike's makes a good sub. I haven't been to a Mike's in a minute though. Tim Hortons had pizza served in seconds. Yeah, those they had like little like pre-made pizzas. I remember those. Do they still have those? The Tim Hortons menu is too. It changes too much for me. I just like the. I used to love the when they. I know other people feel the same way. The chili and the bread bowl. When that was the Tim Hortons lunch, I was there every week. I can't. I have not been to a Tim Hortons in. I don't know. The last time I went to a Tim Hortons must have been a road trip. I was driving to Toronto a decent amount, like a couple of years ago. Must have hit a Tim's at that point. I think even then I was hitting the A and Dubs and Popeyes. Mike's Pizza was awful. Yes, Mike's. You go for the subs or the. It's it's not good, but the spaghetti. You go for the spaghetti, not because it's good, but because it's like nostalgic. Jesus, sounds like the TSN 690 morning show because we've stopped talking about hockey, eh? Yes, they do that too much. Is that what you mean, Max? By the way, that we've like started talking about food and just like random stuff that isn't hockey. I know, I know they do that all the time, and I also get very annoyed. And I'm like, just talk about the game last night. I'm still mad about the game, and now I've become everything that I've hated. Although I do want to know about Putin in Liverpool. That we can talk about. Maybe it's Domi's tinted visor. That's why he can't play well. Yeah, that and from what we've been told, gets a little too much advice from his old man. Old advice from his old man that he should not be taking. Yeah, good observation from Craig Simpson there. How many passes through the middle of the slot have like the Canadians been able to do? Like how many passes through the seams have they been able to do this period? They just keep doing it. Shutout is over. Nobody said anything about the a shutout for Dobesh, eh? Nobody jinxed them, but what happened here exactly? It was pretty broken. I mean, Dobe looked like Dobish tried to push Dobson and Tavares away from his crease, and in that time, Ekman Larson was able to beat him with a shot. Stop sitting back. Yeah, that's kind of how that goal felt. Felt like a team that was like pretty gassed. Looking at the clock, there's only 2:41 left in the period. I'm sure that they were thinking, we can get our way back to the dressing room up 4-0, but not to be. It's 4-1, and hopefully it wakes up the Habs a little bit and ensures that they don't come out in the third like they've already got this sealed up, because they don't. Dobis should have had that. Yeah, I agree. He was very back in his net and seemed a little too distracted by Dobson and Tavares in front because they weren't blocking him. They were there, but he kind of got himself out of position trying to shove them. Habs are sitting back. Canadians take a too many men. A little lackadaisical out there. I totally agree. Oh boy, guys. What do you think? This is not how you wanted to see the Habs with a 4-1. Not how you wanted to see the Habs end this period. They're up 4-0. Now they give up a goal. Now they give up a power play. If Tavares, if Dobes doesn't shove Tavares, he makes a save. I agree too. I feel like he wasn't quite in front, and he could have still seen the puck, but he like put himself out of play there. It's a very odd play. Watch out for Tavares and Nylander. They're going to turn it on. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to give these guys too many power plays. All right. Well, they escaped the second period at least without giving up another goal. They'll have a few seconds of Toronto power play when play resumes, but it's 4-1. Shots were 17-4 Habs in the second period. I am drinking just an old just Coke. It's just a Coke. I do like a root beer. You know what? I get a root beer. No, I get a Dr Pepper when I get Lebanese food. That doesn't make any sense, I know. But when I go to the Bustan, I get a Dr Pepper, and I used to drink a lot of root beer back in the Barks days. I used to drink a lot of root beer. I don't as much anymore. I feel like Mug is the only one that you see now, and I'm like not a big Mug. I'm not a big Mug guy. Yeah, I probably need to get on the diet. I will say I don't drink a lot of soda. So I love soda, but I don't drink a lot of it. This is I know his shutout bid is over, but Dobesh has allowed one goal tonight. I don't know what to do with myself. What a day. The Canadians have not had this kind of goaltending performance in a while. Where the goalie, even if he gave up one, softy, he probably could have had back. Just one is a massive improvement for the Habs right now. So that's why they're up 4-1, and all the usual suspects getting in on offense right now. How are we at the end of the second period? We have 6 scoring chances from the Leafs for 2 high danger chances, according to Natural Stat Trick. And then the Canadians have 11 scoring chances and 2 high danger chances. If you guys want to see. Yeah, I got the live blog is on the main website, even though there are no comments there. It's still going. I still post all the highlights there as the game progresses. So if you missed something, you can catch it there. Ooh, Alexandre Texier to the Habs. I like it. I think he's a good He's not a center, which is a bummer because that's kind of what they would need more. Somebody to replace Valeno, but Texier's got a little bit of scoring abilities, a little bit physical. He's someone who seems like not, he went back to Switzerland, or I mean, he's from France, but he went to go play Switzerland a year. Um, Seems like North America. He's not like quite loving the experience. He doesn't seem to like it much in St. Louis. Seemed to like it in Columbus. Didn't like it. Doesn't like it much in St. Louis. Montreal seems like a good spot for him as a last stop before going back to Europe, to see if he can make it. But I think he's got an NHL game in him. He definitely looked like he was going to become like a good, like a bottom six guy with a little bit of scoring and a little bit of grit. So would be very happy to see Texier come to the Habs, especially with all the injuries right now. Uh, Nice to have Jack Eye up here, but like Davidson, I don't think you want him here too much. I think you'll want him back in Laval. I don't think Valeno, you know, he's a fourth liner. Dobich didn't have to make big saves. Not going to give him any credit. The team is playing good. Sure, but in the last like couple of weeks, especially when Montembeau's been in nets and they've given up goals on the first shot, it's changed the complexion of the games a lot. So I'm not saying Dobich playing a good game, but I'm saying that this is a change of pace from what we've seen so far. Who is Texier? Texier he was a second round pick by the Columbus Blue Jackets like almost a decade ago now. He's from France. He's the rare player who's like from France and is French. And he's more of a third liner. He started out as a center, but he moved to the wing. He's got pretty decent size. I'd say he's like in the 6'1", 190 realm. A bit more of like a two-way guy. He's got some grit. He's got some penalty kill. He can score a little bit. He's not like somebody who's got like a lot of calling cards. Like he's not somebody who's got like a thing that'll like allow him to stick in the league. But he's like kind of pretty good at a lot of things. He's definitely kind of like a useful third line plugger right now. Because again, I don't think Davidson ought to be here too long. He's more of an emergency, and I think we saw what we saw from Joshua Roy. All apologies to Josh. One of the things, the best thing that happens going for them is Hugo and MSL have made Montreal a city that players want to play for. Yeah, and I think Texier is a good fit too because it doesn't seem like as I said before, he went to go, he was under contract in the NHL and he went to go play in Europe sort of during the COVID years. Seems like culturally he's probably better suited to play in Europe, but Montreal's a good chance to Montreal's a good chance for him to like be in maybe in a place that culturally he's like more at ease and then he can play a little better. So I like it. I think he's a good pickup. I always wanted the Habs to get him. I thought especially when he was a center. Like back when he was a center, I thought like, oh, this guy could be a good third line center for the Habs. He's not a center anymore, but he can be a good wing. And yeah, a player from France. Hey, wasn't it great when Cristobal Huet was a goalie? Remember when Cristobal Huet was here and was like red hot for like that spell? That was a good time for the Habs. It was fun. So I'm happy. I'm happy for that. Got lots of people from France who live in Montreal, even more than back in the Cristobal Huet days. Maybe it'll get more. It's a little bit like when a Major League Baseball team signs a Japanese player, and then all the Japanese people are excited and they follow that team. Maybe we'll have all of France following the Habs and rooting for the Habs. Dobish needs to play 3 games in a row. This has now been pitched a couple times, and I 100% agree. Let's just do it. Let's give Montembeau the 2 weeks that he clearly needs to get back in the game. That it won't happen on the ice. Let's get Dobesh the reps he needs so he's feeling comfortable. To me, this is like a no-brainer. Habs are also off till Wednesday, so it's not like Dobesh is gonna get worn out anytime soon. Of course, they might also base it a lot on practice too, right? If they practice and they think Montembeau is looking amazing again, it is possible. Jeff Gordon was on TSN Overdrive on Friday. Ooh, I need to listen to that. Great guy, down to earth, and great report. The panel said, "Why didn't you have me on 2 weeks ago when we were in first place?" I like it. So Florian Jackey's played 7 minutes, 7:17 tonight. He's got one assist. He's +1, and he's got 3 hits, 2 shots, and a block, and 2 giveaways. His brother Arbor Jackeyes played 929, and he has 3 hits. So the hits are right now 23-14 for the Habs. So the 6 hits making a big difference tonight. Making a big difference. Love to see it. Friday's game is 4 p.m. Saturday's is 3 p.m. Oh yeah, it's American Thanksgiving. Oh, that doesn't work for my schedule. I will admit. We'll see how I don't know, we'll see how it goes. I guess Friday maybe. 4 o'clock is a weird time. I don't think that works well for me at all. Well, we'll do Wednesdays for sure. We're talking about the Leafs. Utah will be interesting. They're young, agile, and talented. And the Habs beat the crap out of Utah the last time they faced off a couple weeks ago. And that seemed a bit like unusual. Like Utah seems pretty good. They seem like they'd be a more even matchup. So I expect Utah to play pretty hard that next game. I like Montembeau and how he's developed, but I've never seen him as a natural number one. No, I think Montembeau better fits that like. And while he's got to figure out what's going on with him right now, but I always see him more as more of like that kind of modern 1A, 1B, where like the number one plays, 48 games and the number two plays 41. That kind of, well, they don't play that many games, but you know what I mean. Sort of a situation like a Logan Thompson, Charlie Lindgren scenario. Montembeau feels like that guy to me. But he played really well last year, and he played a lot last year. He was definitely one of the most used goalies last year, which begs the question, was he Was he overused? I don't know. But he's come out of the gate not looking right, looking nothing like the goalie, even when he wasn't playing well, even when he was giving up a lot. He looks even worse than that right now. I don't really know what's going on. Ride the hot goalie, period. Yeah, at this point, I think you just got to play Dobesh until he gives you a reason not to. Yes, you got to go with the hot goalie. Yeah, that's where we're at right now. Hey, Steven, by the way. Uh, yeah, I think this like attempt to play Montembeau back into the rhythm of things is not working. I think he really needs to like go back to practice and just I to me it's in his head more than anything else. I don't think it's a skill issue. I don't think his skills evaporated overnight. I don't think it's he's been a goalie long enough in this league that I don't think like people suddenly figured out that he's got a weak glove hand. You know what I mean? Like the book's been out on him for years. Like people know what he's good at and what he's not good at, and he's been able to adjust and be good in this league. So whatever's going on with him right now, I think it's not to like put him on blast or anything, but he definitely got married late in the off season, and I'm sure lots going on in his life, and he obviously was injured at the end of last season. I don't know if he was able to have the off-season training that he usually has, but for whatever reason, came into the season not where he needs to be, and we'll see. Oh yeah, tomorrow's the Victoire play tomorrow. I gotta ask, are you guys following the Montreal Victoire, or are you following the PWHL at all? Are you guys PWHL fans? Um, I feel like the talent level, the league's already like looking pretty good, the PWHL compared to past women's leagues. But I gotta say, I feel like the talent level every year is just like I feel like the Montreal team is like more and more. Even though they keep expanding, like I just feel like more and more talented players are coming in. We gotta know. That's okay, Steven. You don't have to. I will say, it's also NFL Sunday. If you're watching the NFL tomorrow, I understand. Well, we're back to 5-on-5. There was only like 13 seconds left in the too many men penalty anyway. Well, Tavares, there you go. He's the one entering the zone there and taking a hard shot. Ends up out of play, but if Toronto's got to come back in him tonight, it's going to be Tavares. And Tavares, we've definitely seen him get mad against the Habs before, so they definitely got to watch out. Caulfield stripped the puck at his blue line, went across the ice, basically had a breakaway, and he teed it up and missed the net. Oh, you guys are hard. You guys are harsh on the slapper. You guys are harsh on the slap shot. Damn. Yeah, I think he was worried about the Toronto guy. That the Toronto guy had gotten back. I think he was a little concerned about that, so he just decided to rip it. Got the fourth line coming in here. Cycling. We haven't heard much of Jared Davidson. I thought was pretty good in the first game he was called up. He hasn't done much since, but that's more of a team thing. I don't really hold him. I don't hold him accountable for it. But I think with Texier uh, rumored to be coming in tomorrow, I would imagine that Davidson would be the casualty, and I would say that Davidson will be more useful to Laval, and I think he still needs more time there, and I think Texier will bring more to the main club, and with some forwards out for quite some time, I think the Canadians are in a position where they can afford to add an NHL veteran to the lineup. Point shot off the post. Now the Leafs are really there. You go. Gallagher had to make the block, but the Leafs are definitely on the offensive so far this period. Yeah, here's this shot. Ekman Larson with a real softy, but got tipped at least once in front, and Dobesh, good to be lucky, lucky to be good. It's off the posts. Stop sitting back. Yeah, this is not the Marty Habs don't usually sit back, so I'm kind of disappointed with what we're seeing so far. But it's still early in the period, and I would imagine the Habs are a little shaky because they have not had a third period lead in some time. So What the fuck, Habs? Leafs are taking it to you. Quit trying to protect the lead. Go for 5, for real. But also, both brothers have been solid tonight. Yeah, 6 hits so far entering the third period. Let's see some more. Jake McCabe done for the night for the Leafs. The puck rid up his stick and hit him in the face. So the Leafs are down to 5 defensemen. So really, no, and one of them is Troy Stetcher. So the Habs really have no excuse to take advantage. Troy Stetcher, bless his heart, is the league's sixth defenseman. Sixth defenseman everywhere he goes. Am I frozen? Can you not see me? No, it looks like I'm going. I think you can see me. Am I frozen? I hope not. Eric, your thoughts. When a team six backs like this, who's responsible, the coach or the players? I think the players, I ought to know that you can't hang back. But if the coach is telling them to ostensibly, like when Terrien was the coach, he was definitely telling the team to shut down. Jacques Martin, those kind of old school coaches would tell the guys sit back, sit back, sit back, sit back. It was a bit more of a clutchy, grabby kind of NHL, so it's a little different. But you can't in this day and age. In this day and age, teams are too talented, players are too talented. They can just sort of go all over. They can just like turn it on. So you can't do it anymore. But in this case, I would probably hold the team responsible because Marty has traditionally not had his team sit back. That's how I feel. I feel like this is more of a team thing. He's not a top 4 defenseman. Is this Troy Stetcher? Yeah, Troy Stetcher is definitely not. I mean, you know that the Leafs are injury depleted when Sammy Blais is still taking a regular shift here in the third period. You're down 3 goals. I don't know what it might have been with Sammy. I thought Sammy Blais was a great fit for the Habs, but they got to the end of training camp. They saw what they had in Florian and Davidson and Owen Beck and all these guys that were fighting for a roster spot, and they were just like, we don't have room for Blais. Like all these young guys are better than Blais, so we're just going to give Blais another shot somewhere else. Oof. Cowan with 2 chances here. The Canadians once again just like stuck in their zone, man. What is going on here? This period. Okay, well, at least they got the puck down the ice for a change. They're comparing Easton Cowan to Cole Caulfield, not talent-wise, but in terms of eagerness, I guess they were saying, sort of an eagerness to play. The way Matthews has looked this year without Marner, not a big loss for them. Well, still a big loss, but I get what you mean. I get what you mean. Nobody in Toronto has looked quite right with Marner gone. They definitely misunderstood Marner's offensive contributions to the team, which is weird because he's a 100-point player. But I think they just like I don't know what they thought in the end. I mean, they tried to move him at the deadline, right? But he had a no trade. This is 60 minutes of hockey, not a lead in 40 minutes. Yeah, this is not very fun to watch. And the puck's once again back in the Montreal zone. Once again, the Leafs are circling. I mean, Dobish covers it up at least, but yeah, this is not. Shots are now 6-0 Leafs in the third period. They chose Veleno over Blais. Yeah, that's exactly it. But they had spots for two. They had enough spots for both of them, but I get it. They didn't need both of them. And Veleno's a center that can win some faceoffs, so they chose. I think they chose wisely in the end. I don't think Blais bringing anything that they don't necessarily need, but he does bring a little jam to the lineup. I don't like the way they're playing right now. No forecheck, just getting rid of the puck. Hate it. Absolutely. This is the worst kind of hockey to watch. Because they're not even like. If you're keeping the neutral zone clogged and they can't get in the neutral zone, that's one thing. And you're not even giving up chances. But the problem is they're actually giving up chances right now. So they're really just like desperate for the time to wind down. They should just go on the offense. After playing a solid 2 periods, Slav is looking a little lost out there again. Yeah. I mean, all the offense. I mean, they're in their zone. Guys like Slav and Demidov, not super useful in their zone, unfortunately. All right, it's 11:07 left in the third period. Shots 26-23 Habs. They're up 4-1. Puck's back in the Toronto zone. Please let them go on the offense a little bit and get a shot this period. They don't even have a shot this period. Here we go. Slavkovsky with the zone entry gets a little bit tripped up. Oh, yeah. Slavkovsky's back with Suzuki and Caulfield on this shift. Interesting. And it's working. Yeah, we got Slav back on the top line here. Very interesting. I mean, this is at least. I mean, it's defensive zone time. It's not exactly effective offensive zone time because I feel like it's mostly just the Leafs trying to get it out and not succeeding. But hey, we've at least dipped below the 9-minute mark, and it's still 4-1. So the Canadians continue to drain the clock and not do much else. It was a nice play by Veleno, sort of to get away from the guys chasing him and get the puck back to the point. Hey, do we finally got a... I don't think we got a fight, but the net is off, and it's Brendan Gallagher. Bolduc needs to work on his defense more. That's why Slav is back to line one. That actually makes a huge... That actually makes a lot of sense, to be fair. Jack Eyes on the bench looking to... Arbor Jack Eyes licking his chops on the bench here. So we got the net off its moorings. And we had Gallagher and Dakota Mermis getting into it. So we didn't see a fight tonight. Haven't seen a fight tonight. Do you think we will though? I think it's a little too late for that now, right? Yeah, Galley's waking the team up. See, that's like a good veteran move by Gallagher. Got the team a little bit animated after sort of a lackluster start to the third period. And it's going to be a 4-on-4, actually. Really? They're going to send Gallagher off? Yeah, Gallagher and Mermis are going to go off for roughing penalties. So we're going to get 4-on-4. Demi scores. Yeah, I mean, I think 4-on-4, based on what we've seen 3-on-3, I think 4-on-4 benefits the Habs a great deal. In fact, the Habs are probably better 4-on-4 than they are 5-on-4, to be honest. And then and then the flow will go. Okay, so you guys think there's still some time here for time for a little bit, time for a fight still, eh? Maybe. I get a yes. Only if the Habs score a fifth. Yeah, that I could see. It's too late. There's one coming. Okay. Runs the gamut here. Lots of possibilities. Utah, Vegas, Colorado coming up. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. How do you guys feel about that series? That three for... Can the Habs... I mean, doubly, triply, quadruply reason why the Habs need to win tonight, right? Because those three is not going to be fun. That's true. Probably not going to see much Jack Eye if at least 2-on-2, but there'll still be some time after that. Leafs losing, Domi and others on the last will need to tarnish the win. I'm still betting on Max Domi doing something dumb before the game is over. I mean, the Habs kind of letting Lawton walk in there, but Dobesh was able to poke check it away. Nice passing by the Habs 4-on-4. Caulfield with the shots. Okay, well, they're just letting the clock drain a little more. I mean, we're going to hit below 7 here. Demidov and Kapanen trying to team up there 4-on-4. I mean, that's the thing, right? Kapanen actually, like, when I see him going up the ice with Demidov, it's like, oh, Kapanen, like, can hang with him. Like, Kapanen's not dragging, like, Demidov's not dragging Kapanen on that line. I do feel like Kapanen is able to hold his own on that line. I don't know what his upside is. I'm not saying he's a second line center that the Habs so desperately needs, but considering what he's doing already, it's like pretty interesting. He's an intriguing prospect to be sure. All right, back to 5-on-5. Yeah, Kapanen and Demidov together. They're already like a pretty good pairing, and now like adding Slavkovsky to that mix, I quite like. That's second line to me. And then the first line's the two big boys, and then if not Bolduc, then I don't know, maybe I don't know if you want to put Texier in there right away, but he had some offensive ability in Columbus. Maybe he can find his game again. Already talking about Texier like he's here. I don't even know. I'm just going by what Elliot Friedman said. I mean, Elliot seemed pretty sure that tomorrow when waivers was going to happen, it was going to happen. Kapanen replacing Heineman, who was a factor before that accident. Well, Islanders fans will be the first to tell you that Heineman has definitely shaken off that accident. He's looking good now. Hey, we got the fight that we've been looking for, and Florian absolutely going after Mermis here. Yo, he's like a rock'em sock'em robot. You don't usually see guys go fighting like that. Look at Arbor. Arbor is happy. Look at that. Look at Florian. He's stoked. Hey guys, is this You were right. You said there was still going to be a fight. So what do you think? Do you think Florian's we've had some call-ups. We've had, Beck come in, Roy come in, Davidson come in. You think Florian's the one who's going to be here to stay? I know it's just the first game of his career, but I don't know. He brought something tonight. I'm not gonna lie. Not saying Jack. I mean, Jack, I got an assist. Jack, I brought an assist. Played 10 minutes. Got in a fight. 3 hits. He brought a little je ne sais. He brought a je ne sais quoi to the team tonight. There you go. Okay. I was literally about to ask you guys this, and then you did it for me. Florian has offered more tonight than Joshua Roy did in his 3 games. 3 games. He did more than Joshua did in like the 40 games that he's played so far. Send Veleno wherever. Evans on notice. Well, no, Evans is still there. Evans is still already their go-to penalty killer. They still need him for that. I know he doesn't score much, but they need him for the penalty killer. And the face-offs. He's their best face-off guy. I knew he wouldn't go without a fight tonight. That's his game. You're right. No, no, you're totally right. You knew he was gonna like want to bring it. I'm fine if I never see Hua again. Yeah, I think. I mean, look, injuries might still happen, but he just like hasn't found his place. He doesn't look like a pro, to be honest. Smart player, but just doesn't have the speed or physicality. Hua will never be an NHLer. I agree. Mermis isn't a fighter, lol. Hey, he threw some punches. I don't know what Mermis's deal is. I don't know Mermis too well, but he was he was spirited at the very least. So the Leafs will get a power play in the end. Um, Jack I will get a slashing call on the goalie. Yeah, slashing call on the goalie. So he'll get seven penalty minutes tonight. So it's not an instigator. You got a slashing penalty. Evans, okay, here's interesting. Evans signed the big contract, 41 games, 10 goals, 4 goals, 10 assists, minus 12. Yeah, I hear you. But he's their best penalty killer. That's why he's getting paid what he's getting paid. He's not even getting paid that much. I actually thought that contract was pretty low. But anyways, the numbers that you gave extrapolate to a 8 goal, 20 assists, 30 points. So 30 points in your best penalty killer is absolutely $3 million in this economy. So yeah. Mario will get his undies in a knot if the Leafs score, and I'm sure he'll blame Flo. I certainly hope not. I'm certainly hope not. Extra attacker for the Leafs, and they score almost right away. Nylander's top of the circle here. Domi's the screen. I told you guys Domi was going to do something, but I thought he was going to do something stupid. And in the end, what he did was actually just help them score. Yeah, Marty does not look too happy. Oh boy. There's still 5:04 left in this game too. So we got an empty net again. And the Leafs game plan is definitely shoot from the point and try to get some traffic in front because Dobish seems to be struggling quite a bit with those more so than his lateral movement. Dobish's lateral movement seems to be good tonight, but if you shoot a puck out from far out, but the Canadians just can't seem to get a chance on this empty net. They had one chance blocked by the Leafs player, and Slavkovsky was there in the neutral zone. He couldn't quite get the handle. Hitting below 230 here. Oh, there you go. Josh Anderson, empty netter. Josh Anderson, another good night for him. He's having like a quietly decent season. He's not like striking fear in the hearts of opponents or anything, but he's killing penalties. He's leading the team in hits, I think. He was earlier. He's got his 15th career 2-goal game. I'll take it. To be quite honest, I'm surprised that Toronto's goalie was pulled with 4 minutes to go. 2 goals down, at least try to get that third goal. Yeah. I mean, they're desperate too, right? They're in an even more desperate situation than the Habs are in, so. And you've got Nylander and Tavares on your team, so why not just go for it? That seems to be just like the MO of teams these days. They're just going to pull the goalie early and try. I don't know if it's effective or not, but remains to be seen. Matheson gets a second point of the night on the empty netter, and Jake Evans gets an assist as well. I've been watching but playing backgammon online. That sounds fun. We talked about this last year. I need to learn how to play backgammon. Got the win even if it's against a weak team. Hey, the way they've been playing, any win's a good win. Yeah, Struble killing time. It's the Vegas Grand Prix. The F1 season's still going? I thought the F1 season was over. When does it end? I guess it just doesn't end and begin anymore. It just keeps going. That's wild. Hey, we got some more brawl. Hey, you think Arbor wanted a piece of Dakota Joshua? He's not gonna get it. Referee's gonna pull him away. Florian's on the bench. Jaden Strubal's laughing. Guys, we can laugh again. The Canadians have won. They have beat the Leafs 5-2. The losing streak is over. Do you feel a little lighter? Do you feel a little less tension in your stomach? Tension in your, what do they call this here? Your solar plexus. Are you feeling a little better? I'm feeling a little better, I have to say. That was a rough couple weeks. But game one of the Jackeye brothers being together is a win for the Habs. They win 5-2. Florian's celebrating the win from the penalty box. They're not letting him out. Let him out. The Jackeyes are here. Now the only question is, are they here to stay? Damn right, Adam. This schedule coming up is not going to be fun. They got was it Utah, Vegas, Colorado, American Thanksgiving. Ay ay ay. Thanks for coming, Bob. I'll see you Wednesday. Dobesh on Wednesday. I think we're all in agreement here. Dobesh. Dobesh next game. Let's do it. Yeah, Utah are not the Leafs without their two-star players. That's for sure. Habs are a write-off for sure. Hey, you don't on the road, man. The Habs are better on the road. You never know. The Avs aren't going to go 82 and 0. They might just not give a crap. They might not give a crap about that game. I don't know. It could happen. Great 60 minutes from the Habs. A lot less mistakes. The Habs are just a mess. Habs handed them easy without Newhook, Doc, and Gooley. Yeah, I was looking a little hairy in the third period there, but the Habs hung on. So who'll be the X Brothers rivals? The Richards, the Mahavliches. We shall see. Thanks for joining. I had a lot of fun. Always fun when the Habs win. And yeah, I'll see you all on Wednesday. So signing off here. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and yeah, we'll see you against the Utahs